And the truth be told, the race that first discovered prosperity and wealth, and they really nurtured it, are the Igbo race. The Igbos first discovered it through their ancestral background, the lineage of Obatala, discovered the prosperity and wealth in terms of the divinity world.
Hello my people, this is the voice of Oni of Ife, giving you an undiluted history about the Igbo race. I beg, watch and share.
Ajay festival means a festival of wealth and prosperity. Everything in this world that we stand for, everybody is looking for one way or the other improvements in their socio-cultural status. Everybody is looking for advancement. Everybody is looking for prosperity. There is that element of prosperity, the unseen element that is created by Almighty God, the unseen element of wealth and prosperity that we should give honor to and we should celebrate, because there is a spirit behind it, and the spirit behind it is spirit of Ajay festival, and it is very connected to our day-to-day life activities. Give honor to whom honor is due. God created wealth, God created prosperity, God created we, the entire humanity. But at some point, the world of the spiritual world, that's the world of divinity, existed several thousands of years before humanity. One of the world of divinity is Ajay, in which in Ife it has been from time immemorial, before creation of humanity. It has been like that in terms of celebration of wealth. But to the glory of God, a particular race actually discovered it first. And the truth be told, the race that first discovered prosperity and wealth, and they really nurtured it, are the Igbo race. The Igbos first discovered it through their ancestral background, the lineage of Obatala, discovered the prosperity and wealth in terms of the divinity world. And that's the reason why today the race of Igbo people, they're very, very particular, and they have very good expertise when it comes to commerce. They are very distinct all over the world. There is no place in the world that you will go that you won't find an Igbo man. And the same goes with the Jews. There is this mistake that the world usually make. They make this mistake that the Igbos came from the Jews. No, it is the other way around. The truth be told, the first human race that existed was the Igbos before the Jews, and we were all living together at the center of tropical rainforest, which is the heart of the whole thing, the land of expansion. We were all living together as one big happy family before they started moving clockwise. They started moving towards the eastern part of the world, where they started settling. So the race of the Jews and the Igbos are very similar, but the Igbos are way older than the Jews. They are both commercially driven. They are both enterprise in nature. They are both driven by wealth, because that is their ancestral belief. That's the race they belong to. In Nigerian economy today, and the entire black race, if you don't give honor to the Igbos in terms of commerce and trade, you are just deceiving yourself. So the truth be told, let us go back to our history, where we all came from. Ideally, the Igbos are supposed to join us to celebrate this festival, because it belongs to them and the entire human race and the Yoruba race. We are just the custodian, because at some point we were all living together here. So let us realize what connects us. What connects us is more important than what brings us, that separates us. This is one of the major things that connects us together. So I want to use this medium of this festival to reach out to them, for them to dig out more facts about their history, the main scholars in Igbo land, to fact find their roots and ascertain the fact that we're all living together as one big happy family. And Igbos, they don't joke with kola nut.
That's what the Alaafin of Oyo is telling the Oni of Ife. You must bow. I am your traditional ruler, leader. Maybe you can be seen as also the spiritual leader. Where did this clash? When is this clash of superiority going to end between Oni of Ife and Alaafin of Oyo?
Well, it is very, very unfortunate that the new Alaafin want to continue the controversial that was started by the late Alaafin Adeyemi, which the man before he even died as a suspender, have realized and it started to turn new leaf because of the olive, branch that Ooni of Ife sold to the man. The new Ooni of Ife is a new gens Oba that is not interested about this rivalry issue. He make the first move. He went to visit the late Alaafin. That warm softened the mind of Alaafin of Oyo, and he has started changing the narrative. There are some pictures where you can see where Alaafin bow like this when he wanted to greet Ooni. What really happened? Everything is about destiny, and the throne of Ife, which we can say the first Oba was Oduduwa. And after the demise of Oduduwa, we have some people from Ife that also go to that throne, because all the sons of Oduduwa, they have left the place. And when we are talking about throne, sometimes you can inherit it, you can fight for it. We have so many ways of getting throne. You may get throne because your father is a king. You may hijack throne through war. So we have people like Ajagungbade, they hijack throne. So what actually happened at Ife is that after the death of Oduduwa, all the sons have left the house, and another person from Ife came in and became king. So the last son of Oduduwa was Onamiyan. He was the one that found Oyo. Oyo was like a village to Onamiyan that founded Oyo, because Onamiyan himself later left Oyo and went to Ife to become their king. If that throne is so important to Onamiyan, he wouldn't have left his own throne to go and claim his father's throne. And after the death of Onamiyan has no other son to continue. So the throne go back to the community. Even there are some history that I will not want to. Although Yoruba will say Egun to ba ti jade o ti kúrò láìwo, a masquerade that has come out as beyond the one that they will say you cannot see it. It's a story that is on internet now. So I can say it that Onamiyan was a warrior, and they usually send him. Oduduwa usually send him to go and settle, to go and pacify, to go and defend. Likewise, he was sent to Oyo. So
when Onamiyan visited Oyo, was there any king in Oyo?
There was no king in Oyo. So Oyo was like a war camp, because enemy of Ife, they usually come from that axis. So Oduduwa sent him to there to go and like a defense garrison. So when he went there, another assignment was given to him. Then he left the place. He make his son Ajakauko to become king in that place. Onamiyan himself did not carry crown from Ife. There is no crown for Onamiyan from Ife. Onamiyan was a warrior. He's not meant to be a king. So even when he went to Ife, it was like a coup d'etat. When he heard that somebody else has claimed his father's throne, then he feel like, where I am, You want to claim that throne? Then he came to that place, chased away the king that was there, and took over the throne. But he didn't have son, and he fought for Ife until he died. He died in Ife. Okay, among all the Oba that I can say they are the son of Oduduwa, there was no one that died and buried at Ife. Oramiyan died and buried at Ife. Let's assuming that he died. They say he entered ground. He was a strong man. There's no doubt about that one. He was a strong man. He entered ground at Ife. He fought for Ife. He went there to claim his father's throne. But after he died, the throne go back to the community. That is the truth of the matter. Now, when we now talk about Oyo, people now usually talk about Oyo Empire.
But we were not hearing of the Ife Empire.
Ife Empire has come and gone
before Oyo
Empire. You know, Empire. Ife has once ruled as far as, I mean, all these foreign countries. Like Ife has one of the biggest empire before, but at a time
he went down.
No. Then Oyo came in. Oyo came in with their own empire of 18. So now, can we now say because a son has prospered, we will place him over the father? Ife is the source. That throne that Oni sits upon is the same throne Oduduwa seated upon. That crown Oni wear today is the same crown Oduduwa wear. That is Adiare. That is Adiare. Yoruba call it Iyade. That is the crown that gives back to all other crown.
That means the Alaafin of Oyo might be correct when he said you are a spiritual leader and not a traditional leader.
It's not correct.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a spiritual leader wearing crown? Mention one. That is actually a spiritual leader and is wearing crown. I told you that the crown that man or Ooni of Ife wearing, Adeare, they call it Adeare, is the same crown Oduduwa wear. So, is anybody that wear your father's crown is your father. Like I said at the beginning, that you come into throne through different means. It may be because of hereditary. After your fathers died, you are the next. Let me tell you, particular in my own community, we have 4 dynasty. It's not that when you die, your son succeed. No, that ownership will go back to another ruling house. So ruling house does not compulsorily mean that it is one family that will be ruling in Yoruba land. We have different family. So it's not compulsory that if Oduduwa die, his son must be there. Oduduwa met some people in that place. And
that brought me to a question I wanted to ask, a statement credited to the current Oni of Ife, some time ago, where he said that Oduduwa actually met people in Ife.
Of course, yes.
He said those people he met in Ife, has people been able to identify who they are? Because there was a time he was saying that, from what he got, like it looks like the people he met there has some level of biological representation with the Igbos. How true is that?
It may be possible. I don't, we in this part of Africa, we go and come, we settle in different places. We can, and since we are not there, we cannot rule that one house. And there are so many issues.
No, you made preference to breaking of color in Ife. That is not a traditional or culture of the Yorubas, but the Igbos, that was a significance of Igbo presence in Ife. I don't know how you arrived.
We cannot. If Oni said that one, I cannot take that one away. Like I said, we are African. We are going. Every day, eventually settle in a particular place, and sometimes you can trace your people to a particular place. Maybe later they left the place when the place is not, conducive for them. They may leave the place. They may be the first person to live in that place and leave the place later, or even later metamorphosize into another things in that area. So to not deviate from what we are saying. So we have different system of governing system in Southwest here. Look at Ibadan. If you live in Ibadan today, you are a Yoruba man. If they born
Ibadan
you there,
is the Oyo Empire.
Ibadan.
Is Oyo the ancient Oyo kingdom was associated with Ibadan?
With Ibadan, yes. It was ancient ancient Oyo Empire that owned all those land of Ibadan.
But Ibadan developed more than Ife.
It is the same the same unnecessary arrogancy of Oyo that made them remain like that. Now they want to be claiming the old glory, the empire that everybody has forgotten. Where is the empire of China? Where is the Benin Empire now? Are they not giving them challenge? Recently, Igbanke people told them that, see, we are not Benin. This is where we come
and even
from.
some people are saying they are not Benin.
Yeah, so many people are pulling themselves out of Benin. What is meaning of empire? Empire is like a colonization. You colonize your fellow brother. That is the meaning of empire. So what are you proud of? You sold your fellow brother to slavery, and you call that one prosperity. You subject your fellow brother to come and be paying tribute to you. Do you know what this thing costs? Do you know that Yoruba fought war for 16 years because of this thing? Because of this arrogancy of Oyoism, that we are the one that's supposed to be controlling you. They subjugated Ekiti people. They have to be paying tribute to them. Until Fabomi Okemese rise up and say, we have to put stop to this. And the 16 years war. If not white people that come and intervene, the war continue. So there is nothing to proud about all these things. What we should be after now is how are we going to protect our people? How is Yoruba nation going to be moving forward? That I think that's what you should receive preference now. Not that you're supposed to bow. Who will bow for who? Who will bow for who? Who will bow for who now? You can see now who will bow for who. And unfortunately, this Oni is somebody that I don't think any of us will have issue with him. Because if you have issue with him, you will be the one that they will find faulty because the man will not even respond.
He's a likable personality.
He's a likable personality. He will not even respond. If you look at this thing that they are dragging, Olubadan sit down, someone of Ogbomoso, Alaafin of Oyo, and then Oni wanted to pass. Then he wanted to shake all of them rise up, except Alaafin.
And claiming that he's superior to
nonsense superior.
I think they are okay.
Let me tell you, if he was, let's assume that he was claiming superiority. You can claim whatever you like. You can claim whatever, but people know. People that know. What I want to say is that despite that, you will not see the reaction from Oni. It just greet the man the way, then he passed. It was people that observe this that are talking. Have you ever heard Oni coming out to comment about it? He will not comment about it. Why are you having issue with somebody like that?
Okay, politically, let's round up on this. Politically, looking at Ife, Oyo, how do you look at the two powerful kingdoms? Because Ife is also a kingdom. It cannot it was once powerful to the Oyo Empire, was also once a powerful. Looking at these two kingdoms, who do you think that the system can? Because everybody, when they want to do anything politics, they say it's Ibadan. Nobody talks about Ife.
Ibadan is a center of Yoruba land. It's a political headquarters of Yoruba land. We are now talking about politics. And when we talk about that one, it is Ibadan. And who are the people that choose Ibadan? Those days, Obafemi Awolowo, they choose. Ibadan was chosen as a headquarters of Yoruba political something. It's not that traditionally it's the headquarters. In fact, Ibadan is one of the youngest city in Yoruba land. Ibadan was formed around maybe 200 to 300 years. For that matter, Ibadan was young. They were son to Oyo, but part of unnecessary pride is what deny Oyo the kind of attention that Ibadan received. According to what I was taught when I was in secondary school, they said when Oyinbo come, Oyinbo will ask Ibadan people, who is your father? They point to Alaafin. That is our father. Then when they reach palace, instead of Alaafin to come out, they will be doing some paraventure, this moving, coming out. So what is meaning of this? Then the next time they will miss to Ibadan, they refer them to Oyo. They say, we cannot go to that place. It's like they are not ready. They are not serious. And that's why headquarters was shifted to Ibadan. up to this moment. I hear that story clearly from my teacher. I'm a student of history. So I hear that one clearly from, my teacher. So they should look, or you should look inward. What can they offer more than pride? That I'm older than you, or you are more prosperous more than you. There's so much thing they should be mind beyond that one.
Well, in terms of economy and political strength, currently now, Oyo looks superior to Ife. In one word.
No.
Okay.
You cannot. Ife is much more prosperous than when we are talking of Oyo Ile. This Oyo, we have different of Oyo. The whole Oyo Empire, it was dislodged from it. It was in Kwara State area, between Kwara and Niger State, Jeba area. Oyo Ile, they were dislodged from that place before they locate here. Before they locate into that place. So this current Oyo, go to this current Oyo community, you cannot compare it with Ife. Ife
Thank you.
that has university, Ife that has